what I believe to be the number one mindset that holds us back. Alrighty, so I want to talk today about enhancing and how we can enhance our mindset, and also touch on, as I said, the number one mindset that I believe holds us back. And I believe that each and every one of us struggle at some point, or have struggled at some point along our own journey in regards to our mindset and in regards to some beliefs that aren't always serving us. And this mindset is going to hold us back, and it's going to hold us back from the things we want to achieve, from the goals that we want to hit, and from the results that we want to actually get. Alrighty, so I believe we get into our own heads, and we do that out of fear. Alrighty, so that fear voice within our head pops up, and that's our ego mind. That's our the little ego voice that tells us that we can't do something or we can't achieve something. Yet it doesn't always have to be that way, and we don't always have to feel as if we're defeated or as if we're getting beaten all of the time. And I believe that working on ourselves every single day is so important, that we can overcome this little voice inside our head, because we can. We can control our thoughts, we can control our decisions, and we can control our actions. And that's the most empowering part about all of this. We can go from a space of feeling as if, with and stuck in this mindset. And we can become free, and we can create the clarity that we need to be able to move forward and achieve everything that we desire to achieve. Because, our mindset does hold us back. And I believe it's the only thing that does hold us back from getting to where we want to be. So, being able to, as I said, work on yourself, and I do this on a daily basis. I work, I do the work on a daily basis, and I believe it's so super important. And being able to honor ourselves in this space is super vital as well. I wanted to also, within this live today, share a little bit of my, mental health and mindset battles that I've dealt with in the past, and that I work through, and the reason why I work on them every day as well. Because I want to be the best that I can be. I want to be the best that I can be for my daughter, for my friends, for my family, but most of all for myself, so that when I'm sitting by myself, then I'm feeling good about myself. And that's important, because, to be truly happy, happiness comes from within. So to be able to be truly happy, it needs to come from us, not an external source. So yes, others can do things that bring us happiness, absolutely. However, if we're struggling or stuck within a certain mindset around something, then whatever anyone else does is going to affect us, and not always in the best way. And that's because we are having that internal struggle within ourselves. So my story, my husband at the time, he was going through some pretty big life challenges, and he fell into some deep depression. This was while I was pregnant with my first child. I have a daughter. She's now 7. What I guess believed, and so this is another story within my mind as well, what should have been the best time of my life pregnancy, having my first child, having that, family unit, lots of love, lots of support. It wasn't the case. I ended up caring for my husband in that space because he couldn't care for himself. And that's no disrespect for him whatsoever. He went through his own journey. This is from my side of things, and as a carer, it is hard. I found I lost myself while trying to make sure I was caring good enough or well enough for him. And at the same time, by that time, I'd had my daughter, so I was a new mum. And to all my parents out there, you know what it's like to be a new mum, and for your first child, you have no idea what you're doing. It's scary as F. It is so scary. You don't, you're kind of almost second guessing yourself all the time. So to go through that journey by myself, but having to care for a full-grown adult that was there physically but wasn't there mentally and wasn't providing the support that I needed as a new mum, that was really hard for me. So I was pretty much a single mum from the moment my daughter was born. That was difficult for me. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to care, for another full-grown adult as well in that space to the degree that he needed me to look after him mentally as well. So that actually, I guess, sent me into quite a spiral, a downward spiral in that space. There was some, mental abuse, I guess you could say, some emotional abuse in that sense, where I just really struggled. And this is not to say that my story is any worse than yours or it's better than yours. No, not at all. And there's absolutely no judgment from me in regards to what you yourself may have gone through, because we all go through different things, and dependent on where we are with our mindset and our lifestyle, how we were brought up, our culture, everyone's different. So it's going to lead us to react and respond in different ways. And now that I am out of that immediate situation, and looking back and the work that I have done, because I lived through this for 2.5 years, coming up to 3 years before I actually left. I left the situation because I couldn't handle it anymore. It was tearing me apart. I felt so alone. My parents, live up north. They don't live within Perth. My sister lives away in another state, so I had no other immediate family support. He was my only support, yet I was the one doing all the supporting as well as doing all the parenting. So it was hard. It was definitely hard, and I struggled. So coming out the other side, in hindsight, when I look back, and doing the work and looking deeper within myself, what I've discovered is, from the get-go, I was a people pleaser. I struggled to say no. So that led to me having absolutely no boundaries for myself in regards to other people as well. So I would put everyone else before myself, in a space to almost as well think that would, make them like me even more. So there was that feeling of me not liking myself and wanting or trying to get that love externally from other people to make myself feel good. I was constantly doubting myself. So in a state of constant self-doubt. I was a perfectionist. So that meant that I had to do everything perfectly, like in my mind, perfect to me. So, I would do things quite meticulously, and it meant that I tried too hard. Okay. And I had that feeling of just never being enough. Alrighty. And I think a lot of you will be able to resonate with me, because I believe that is the number one mindset that's actually holding us back. The feeling of not being enough. Now, we can enter any other word into that sentence as well. Not fit enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, not lovable enough, whatever that may be for you. The feeling of not being enough is actually pretty damn detrimental to us. And that is the number one mindset that holds us back from moving forward. It holds us back from achieving the results and the things that we really want to do, because we get stuck in, I'm not good enough, or I can't do that because I'm not smart enough. And now this statement, I am not enough, that is not true. It's a story that we've told ourselves, whether that be from our conditioning, from the way that we were brought up. It could have been one of our parents' beliefs that our parents have then, taught us. And again, that's no disrespect to our parents. They were doing the best that they could within, what they knew. So, but it's natural to then hand on our beliefs to our children. The way that we bring up our children, that's based around our beliefs. So we are, subconsciously passing down all our beliefs to our children just by the way that we bring them up. So this statement is not true. It is a story that we are telling ourselves. And when we tell ourselves something for so long or so often, then we start to believe it. And our brain starts to look for evidence that what we're telling ourselves is true. Because our brain only wants to keep us alive, and it's looking for that safe spot. So although it's definitely not serving us, it is a safe spot. So each time we try to move forward from that, our brain wants to pull us back to that statement of I am not enough, because that is our brain's safe spot. Alrighty, and it's known as confirmation bias, so that when we look, we look in our environment around us, we see things that are reflecting I'm not enough straight back at us, which then confirms what we believe. And it's a little bit like our reactivating, it's our, what's it called? Reticular activating system, RAS. You may have heard of it before. So the best example I can use to explain this one is in your mind, you might be wanting to buy a yellow car, right? And when you're driving in your car, like your old car, you never see a yellow car anywhere, never. So you in your mind, yes, I want a yellow car so that I can stand out, or for whatever reason. So you go and buy a yellow car, and then all of a sudden, the yellow cars is all that you can see. So that's actually our reticular activating service that is feeding out the unnecessary stuff and just focusing on the one thing that we're telling our brain to actually focus on. Alrighty, so that ties in then to our mindset and what we're actually telling ourselves. So did you know that we actually have up to 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those thoughts are the exact same thoughts that we had the day before? So if you can put that into perspective then, so if we're having the same thoughts, which are then leading to the exact same choices that we make each day, and that then leads to the exact same behaviors, which then create the same experiences that we have within our life, which bring up then the same emotions. So from that, you can then understand why it's so challenging and why we find it extremely challenging to actually be able to move forward. It becomes a never-ending cycle. And unless we actually overcome ourselves, the first thing that we do each morning, then we're going to continue that spiral of the exact same thoughts, and we're going to live the exact same day, also known as Groundhog Day. So we'll live the exact same day full of the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same experiences. The only difference is the name of the day will change. So essentially, if we're not addressing internally, so we're not actually addressing the mental or the emotional internal battles that we're having, then essentially we're then just trying to make our window dressing, so our outside, look good, while the back of the house and the back of the shop is on fire. So we really need to start addressing the stories, the mindset, and the language that we're using about the stories that we're telling ourselves, so that we're able to move past this and achieve everything that we want in life. So we then are becoming, I guess, the greatest version of our limited self, because then everything that we perceive becomes a threat. So anything your boss might say, anything your spouse says, you have the thoughts, am I good enough? Can I pay my rent this week? Am I going to be okay in the future? Am I going to gain weight? Can I ever lose this weight? So those constant thoughts and the constant internal battle that we have within ourselves is what is creating the dis-ease within us. So the stress and the dis-ease that's constantly going round and round within us. And these thoughts, these constant thoughts, then create and manifest into the physical symptoms. So if you think of skin conditions and skin rashes, weight gain, illness, disease, people that have these really serious illnesses, a lot of them can actually be brought on by the thoughts and the stories that we just keep playing on repeat and replay within our minds. Because our fundamental need as a human is to be loved and to be accepted. We want to have and we want to feel as if we belong. So if we can't achieve that within ourselves and show our true self, then how can we love ourselves? And then how can someone else love us if we can't love ourselves? And how can we expect someone else to love us? Because we're just showing them a false persona of who we believe then that we think that they want to see, rather than being our true authentic selves. And then how can we truly be happy with ourselves in that space? So our thoughts create our life, and I want you to consider the stories that you are telling yourself each and every day. Alrighty, and I constantly hear, people saying I'm stressed, I'm so stressed, and I even use that phrase myself. However, let's actually look and identify the actual feeling for what it is. Like, stress is often a persona, or we put up this front to say we're stressed when we're actually in fear and we're scared. So try to actually identify the feeling that we're feeling for the actual feeling that it is, as opposed to trying to hide behind something else. And just sit then in that feeling, because it's okay. Any feeling that we have is okay. And having that self-awareness around it is what's going to help us to be able to move forward. Because we can control our thoughts, we can control our behaviors, and we can control our decisions, which is such an empowering, to know that we can do that to change our life is so empowering. You don't have to feel as if you're stuck, because you're not. We can make these changes. Now, an activity that I actually, that I do, that I'd heard, it was Lisa Nichols actually, is she went through this activity where you actually write down every single lie that you tell about yourself to yourself. So every lie that you tell yourself. So I've done my list, got 2 pages long so far. I'd done it a little while ago, so you can, try this activity yourself, and you can add to it all the time. And what you actually do is, so you write the lie that you tell yourself in pencil. So for example, I've written something, I can't do this. So I've written the lie in pencil, then underneath, write a truth to that lie. So I've written, I can achieve anything that I focus on. So the lie is, I can't do this. That is a lie. The truth is, I can achieve anything that I focus on. So even just by writing this out, it actually is helping to train our brain to get out of that mindset of I can't do this. Alrighty, and each time then that you have the thought of I can't do this, bring out your trusty little piece of paper and read, I can achieve anything I want. I can achieve anything I focus on. And if you continue to do that, you're starting to train your brain to actually discard the lies and actually always look for the truth. Alrighty, another one I had was, I'm not good at this. My truth is, I'm learning something new. How brave am I? So then it's about changing your language around things. And so some ways that I believe that we can, and some things that I do to be able to conquer our mindset and to enhance our mental health in that space is, to really conquer that never enough mindset is actually start valuing yourself. So you are amazing. You are everything that you desire to be. You can be everything. So start treating yourself with love. Start treating yourself with kindness and compassion and respect. Look at the language you're using, as I mentioned before, toward yourself. Banish that self-criticism because it's not serving you in that space. Another thing that I believe helps to conquer that I'm not enough mindset is actually, I believe we never really spend enough time doing the things that we love. I mean, I know I can get very caught up within my work, within my business, that consumes me. So I'd actually written a list, and another activity you can do, start with maybe 3 or 5 activities that is a hobby of yours or something that you just really love to do. So I'd written down things like hiking. Hiking is amazing. I feel so grounded and so good when I go hiking. Like being out in nature, I just love it. So that was something I found that I just wasn't doing enough of. Catching up with girlfriends or close friends, because I was so consumed within my work, I wasn't catching up with the people that meant something to me. So, write down the things that you're not, or the things that you love to do and your hobbies, and then just slowly implement them into your everyday life. So whether that be, and just a little bit at a time. So maybe 15 minutes a day you can allocate to doing that one hobby or that one thing that you love, or 1 hour per week. But actually put the time aside for you, because you deserve that. And you deserve to honor yourself in that space and do something that you really love, because that's going to build your confidence. It's going to build that respect and that love for yourself because you're doing something that you do love. Alrighty? And believe in yourself. Like, I was full of self-doubt. and that's not to say I still don't have those thoughts at times, but actually learn to believe in yourself. You are worth everything that you do and everything that you want to do. Start, because self-doubt kills more dreams than failure ever does. So just take that plunge, be brave. And that's something that's amazing as well. If you can start something new or you can believe in yourself, that's being super brave. And that within itself is amazing. You know, because what is failure anyway? We never fail in a sense. We either win or we learn. So use that experience as something to learn from. And another thing that can help to conquer your never enough mindset is the people that you surround yourself. Who are the 5 closest people that you're surrounding yourself on a regular basis? Because you are the average of the 5 people that you're spending all that time with. Oh, I have someone at my door. All right, they'll just have to wait. Well, I'm almost finished. Alrighty, are they on a similar path to you? Are they on the same journey? You know, is it someone that supports you and loves you and builds you up? Alrighty. So as you can hear, I used to be in a very limited mindset. You know, I used to, all those things I said before, they would hold me back. I'm proud to say I no longer have such a limited mindset. And that's because I'm doing things on a daily basis. I'm implementing the things to actually help to move me forward, to move me out of and away from those voices that are telling me I'm not enough. Alrighty, so I've done the work. I do the work daily. So that's how I know that I can help you to move forward with this. However, remember, my video is really just generalized information. And if you can get even just one piece from this video that will help you to move forward, then that is amazing. And I'm so happy for you. The real value, I believe, is actually in the accountability and the support. And that's what I offer to my parents. You know, I often get parents that come to me that want to work out, where I believe the real transformation starts when you start to work in. And that's where we need to start, in that space, to conquer these mindsets. Because once we can do that, we can move forward and the physical results will come. You know, because a big part of transforming our bodies is to first transform our mind. So reach out today with the word mindset. Pop it in the comments below if anything that I've said resonates with you. And we can hop on a 15-minute discovery call to see if we're the right fit and I'm the right fit to help you to move forward there. Alrighty, guys. So anything I've said today, if anything has resonated with you, please send me a heart, give me some love. If you like this video, if you're watching this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Any questions, any comments, I'd love to read them. I love to hear from you. I love to interact with you. So pop them down below. And otherwise, until next week, remember the best project you'll ever work on is you. See ya.